The timing of the vehicle we're testing today couldn't be any more perfect. You see, on the west coast of British Columbia right now, we are having a fuel shortage. We actually have restrictions. We can only get 30 liters of fuel. This is the first time I've ever experienced this in my lifetime. But that's okay, because we have this. This is the all-new Porsche Taycan Turbo S Cross Turismo. Yes, it's a big mouthful, but hey, it's a pretty big vehicle, and it's very, 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 very fast. Launch mode, push, hold the throttle. Launch mode activated, here we go. Starship, Taycan, 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh my God! Oh my God. Insane. Whoa. Almost makes you feel a little sick from that type of acceleration. It's so fast. I should say quick. So quick, so quick. From the front, the Cross Turismo looks pretty well like the regular Taycan. You have those teardrop style headlamps here. I love this LED matrix system. You have a front trunk. It holds 84 liters. It's pretty decent. Now this is equipped with the off-road design package. So it's around $2,400. And if you look around, there are some body enhancements to this. You have these little winglets on the front bumper, on the rear bumper, and on the side sills, and they're made to kind of deflect gravel and rocks away from the vehicle. You notice the Taycan has 2 charging ports, 1 on each side. You have a level 2 on one side. This is a level 3. This has the automatic retracting door, so they're power operated on both sides. Now, one thing to note, if you get this option, this vent area here is actually non-functional. If you get the regular manual door, you do get a little bit of an air curtain going through. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but just something to know. The Taycan's door handles do retract. We just lock it like that so they go nice and aerodynamic. So this is the biggest change. Check out the back end. This is what makes the Cross Turismo the Cross Turismo. I love this profile, and because of this, you are going to get more interior headroom in the back there, but it has a sweeping wagon type of look, yet you are a little bit higher and you have that off-road design package. You get 20-inch aero wheels. I'm not a huge fan of this design, but that's just preference. What I like is, unlike some EVs that just come with these tiny little skinny little tires, that's for the best efficiency, this one has some decent size rubber under those fenders there. In the rear you have this little overhang, or this roof spoiler. I have to let you know, this window is fairly narrow though, so it's not a huge window at all, but you do have a wiper, which is a nice thing. You do not get a wiper on the regular Taycan. Love that full length light bar that goes across. It's just sleek. And then the Porsche in behind the glass in here. Yeah, and Taycan Turbo S. Hey, you're paying the money. I want to see what I'm getting. You get the Turbo S. Underneath, no exhaust pipe, but you do get a lot of that off-road ruggedness down here. There is a button there to open the power tailgate, or there is a hands-free option. Little kick, up it comes. Now, since this is a hatch, you do get a lot of versatility. Check this out. You know the travel case that we always have, it's big, right? That fits in here without issue. I could actually fit 2.5 of these in here. If I want more room, I could also fold down the second row seats as well. There really is a lot of utility for this back area. I did a couple corporate shoots this week, and I carried all my lighting gear, my tripods, my wagon, everything fit in the back. I didn't even have to fold those second row seats down. So lots and lots of room. Little kick, down she comes. Oh, let's check inside. Oh man. So the unique shape on the exterior doesn't just create a better or style, in my opinion, it creates more utility on the Cross Turismo. Behind the rear seats, you get 446 liters of cargo space on this Cross Turismo, where the regular Taycan only gets 407 liters. And if you fold all the seats down, you get 1,200 liters of total cargo area, which is more than the regular Taycan. Another big thing, in the back, you get 27 millimeters more headroom. That's a welcome addition to anyone sitting in the back. Plus, you get an extra seat now. The regular Taycan is a 4-passenger vehicle. You get 3 in the back and 2 in the front here, making it 5 passengers. Albeit that middle seat is quite small, but at least you do have a seat there with seat belts. Other than that, same leg room. You get the big, huge pano roof. It does not open, but a nice big glass roof for you. And you get screens everywhere in this Taycan. You have the curved 16.8-inch digital display right in front of the driver. Love how configurable it is. On the left side, you have your lighting controls. On the right side, traction control, your suspension. You can raise or lower the vehicle. Those are on to the right side. And in the middle, you can configure it pretty well however you want. I love how you can just make the entire thing your navigation if you choose, or you can check your power rating. It's all there. Center gets a 10.9-inch screen. This one has an additional co-pilot screen as well. All the graphics are so clear, including the cameras. I love how accurate it is when you're pulling up to any object or curb, that the sensor really kicks in fairly quick and showing you your front view. You do not want to damage your front end or your rims on this vehicle for sure. So always a nice thing to have. So let's talk about power, range, and battery. So battery-wise, you have a 93.4 kilowatt-hour battery system. This thing it's liquid cooled, it's thermally managed. It's got multiple pumps and valves and fans. So depending on what mode you're in, whether you're in normal, sport plus, or even a gravel mode now, keeping that battery in optimum shape for that type of performance, which is the reason why you can do so many launches with this. You can just use that launch control over and over again. And when you launch this thing, man, does this thing go. 0 to 100K, 2.9 seconds. It's actually a 1/10 slower than the regular Taycan Turbo S. You know what? At that rate, it really doesn't matter. You do not notice that extra 1/10 of time at all. And get this, 0 to 200 kilometers per hour, 9.7 seconds. Just it's blistering quick. And it's like, and when you push the throttle, first of all, there is the electric sound, where I'm going to put it into Sport Plus. You could actually set it manually as well. And listen here. I really feel like I'm the pilot of a spaceship right now. Like, this is your captain speaking. Please be seated, have your seatbelt on, because our next destination is to oblivion. And then you go into warp speed. That's what it sounds like, and that's what it feels like in this thing. The acceleration is just nuts. But it's, of course, it feels super planted. You have these big, huge wheels on here as well. You have all-wheel drive, that's standard, so you have 2 motors. Now the motor on the back of the Turbo and the Turbo S is larger than the one in the 4 and the 4S. So the Turbo and Turbo S kind of have the same horsepower, 616 horsepower. However, it's the overboost on the Turbo S that really gets you. So if you go into launch mode, this thing will give you a full capability of 750 horsepower and 774 pound-feet of torque. Once again, it's mind-blowing, and it's like, you literally have to rearrange your face after a hard acceleration to get all that blood back into your face, because it just goes right to the back of your head when you accelerate with this thing. Launch control activated. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my God. Holy. Now, when you're going this fast, you need to stop quickly as well. This comes standard with Porsche's ceramic composite brakes. Normally that is an upgrade, but this is the top dog Turbo S. That comes standard. However, if you're just driving around town or you're doing some sport driving, if you want some regen braking, right now we have it in Sport Plus and the regen automatically comes on. However, there is a button on here and you can go regen on or off, or if I hold it, it's gonna go regen automatic. And this is a beautiful thing. Now, when you start the vehicle, it will automatically default all the time to regen off. This is not one pedal driving, by the way, when you have the regen on. It's just enough. I'm not a fan of one pedal driving, and it just takes away from the drive, especially with a Porsche. But the automatic, this is one of the best untalked about features, in my opinion, of the Taycan. So you have the regen braking. So think of your adaptive cruise control, how it's going to, when you come up to a vehicle, it's going to slow yourself down. That's the same way that this automatic regen setting works. So if I'm driving along and there's nothing in front of me and I let off on the throttle, I'll just coast. And it's just freewheeling coasting. But when I'm going to come up to a vehicle here, and as I get closer, I can feel it starting to regen. Yeah, I still have to put the brake on. It's not going to stop me completely, but it's just enough. And it's really nice that you don't have to go on and off and turn it on and off. It just does it for you. This is a feature I wish all EVs had. It's great. It's seriously one of my best favorite features of the Taycan. This Taycan Turbo S is equipped with a 2-speed transmission, which is very different from regular conventional electric vehicles, which are normally just a single speed. So having 2 speeds, what does it allow you to do? Well, out of the hole, it gives you a little bit more oomph, along with that 775 pound-feet of torque, and that second gear allows you to go at higher speeds. So the higher speeds, and what's going to allow you to actually maybe save a little bit on your range. Now, speaking of range, this is rated for Canada. And our Canada rating is 325 kilometers of range, and depending on how you charge it, you can get up to 100 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. And we did experience that in Europe when we test drove it there. It all depends on the charging system you have. Level 3 is fairly quick. I plugged in to a public level 3 charger. I was there for 21 minutes and I put in about 21% in 21 minutes. Hey, I was fairly full anyways, but it's still pretty quick. Now we're going over a pretty rough road here. The ride is extremely supple, especially right now we're in Sport Plus. Now, this is equipped with the adaptive air suspension as well. And depending on what mode you're in, it will either lower or raise the vehicle up. So in Sport Plus right now, we should be in the lowest position. However, if we go out of Sport Plus, there is, on the middle console here, there is a gravel button. So if we hit that gravel button, okay, I can see the little car there, and it's actually blinking and the arrow is going up. So we are raising ourselves up. In gravel mode, at the full height, we are 30 millimeters taller, or have 30 more millimeters of clearance than the regular Taycan. This is no off-road beast, but guess what? A gravel road, nice logging road, this is gonna handle that no problem. And you have those little deflectors on the bumpers and stuff like that, and that's supposed to take away some of those rocks everywhere. Gravel mode will also change the traction control system as well, so it helps you maintain the most traction, and also for your throttle response when you're accelerating, it won't go as much, it won't be as aggressive, so to reduce the amount of spin. This also has rear axle steering as well. Makes it really nice and nimble for tight parking lots and of course at higher speeds. The problem with driving a car like this, so this is a problem, is it could get you in trouble because it's so easy to go fast. It feels so capable. I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but you know, every time I get into a vehicle like this Porsche Taycan, I find myself thinking, this thing is just so much more capable than other vehicles on the road right now. It should have its own speed limits in certain circumstances, right? It really is. It's so much. It's so much more capable, and you're in so much more control over it. When you're doing 120 kilometers an hour, it really feels like you are just crawling, and anything jumps out or anything that comes out at you, even as a surprise, as long as you're ready for it, this thing will handle anything you throw at it. Look at this. You're driving an electric go-kart, a very, very fast one. And I've said this before, and you know, it's like, I get into a vehicle and it has, let's say, 350, 400 horsepower, and I have a blast with it. And you've heard me say this, you know, like, this is all you really need. No one else needs more than this. Until you get into a Turbo S. Things kind of change. That saying just gets thrown out the window. And this is no different, though, by the way. This is not just a Porsche only statement. No different. You know, if you're in a Model S or, you know, a very, very quick EV, you really feel like you have superpowers to get into certain spots. Say you need to merge and there's a small little hole up there, you can make it. You can make it with a vehicle like this, and you can make it without pissing that person behind you off. They don't even have to hit those brakes at all. It's great. It really is great. I kind of like the sound because without the sound is part of the experience of driving or sport driving. And it completes it a little bit more. I am being fairly easy on the throttle though with this Taycan. Why? Well, it's fairly cold out, even though we have winter tires. However, this Cross Turismo Turbo S starts at about 218,000 Canadian dollars. And when you tack on a lot of extra goodies, like especially like that Burmester stereo that you have, which is over $6,000, you're gonna run yourself just south of $250,000, about $245,000. That's what this one is testing out at. So it is not inexpensive, and it's something that this pocketbook here cannot afford. As much as I would like a Turbo S, I can't afford to buy one right now. There is so much to talk about on this Taycan Turbo S. We just can't cover everything. This is literally one of the most advanced vehicles on the road today. Hands down. There's from the suspension, from the thermal management system, every single thing is state of the art in this vehicle. And yeah, you pretty well, you need all day to learn about this vehicle in its entirety. I just want to give you a short glimpse of my experience with this thing, and yeah, every time I get in here, it really does put a smile on my face. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. See you next time. Ciao.